Welcome back. We're talking right now with Ray Sierpina, who is a former school committeeman who's now running as an incumbent for his second term as a school committeeman. And welcome to the program, Ray.
Thanks, Frank. Thanks for having me.
You know, it's very interesting from a perspective that you are perhaps the only person on the school committee that actually has a Haverhill school background, not only as a teacher, but also as an administrator prior to your retirement.
That's right. I began teaching in Haverhill in 1971 at the Constantino School. Taught there for 3 years. Then I went to Winter Street School, which most people forget, which is right next to St. James Church. Was there for 9 years. Then I went to the Crowell School, and I was there for 10 years. And then I went to Tilton School and was 3 years assistant principal, then 17 as principal at Tilton School.
Wow, so you have an intimate knowledge of a lot of the workings of the Haverhill school system,
yes, I do.
Perhaps from both sides, not only from a teaching and administrative side, but also most presently, presently as a four-year school committeeman
yes,
as well,
yes,
running for
do.
your next term now as for your next four-year term. Can you tell us some of the things that you've seen that you're happy that were accomplished during your tenure as a school committeeman, and some of the things that you'd like to yet see happen in this next term?
Well, in the term that's basically gone by, what we have accomplished is an all-day kindergarten program, which is really important here in Haverhill, so that the students go to school in kindergarten all day long. MCAS scores are on their way up, and the focus is MCAS scores, and they are improving. Our high school is now top-notch, working with the superintendent of schools and the building facilitator. We are improving our maintenance program so that we're proud of what our schools look like. And of course, the new standards for teachers and administrators, directed by the state, the new evaluation system is very important and crucial, and we hold our employees in the school system to top-notch standards. Those are things that we have accomplished along with the public relations piece that our superintendent has really moved forward to encourage parents to keep their students here in the Haverhill Public Schools.
Because you're talking about people that are able to transfer out under the school choice program.
Correct.
Because there are several students that transfer in, but there are also some that transfer out under school choice. When the student leaves or when they come, how they take with them what the cost, the estimated cost for education happens to be for them, correct?
Correct. There's an average in the state.
What is that average?
Well, it used to be $5,500. Mm-hmm. It probably has gone up like everything else has gone up. But we've lost probably close to $500,000 in students leaving us, and we've probably brought in much less than that. But right now, I think we're on the real upswing of keeping our students and checking our enrollment figures this school year. I believe our number at the high school is up 200 students. I think overall as a system, we're probably up about 400 students.
Well, that's also taking into account the fact that if you have, there are several different, there's the Classical Academy at Haverhill High School, I understand, but in talking with Superintendent Scully, he also said that there are different types of academies as well, not just the Classical Academy.
Well, you have the Freshman Academy at the high school, so that the freshmen are geared together as a group of students, and they are there by themselves, so everything is focused on them. Mm-hmm. You have your STEM Academy, science, technology, engineering, and math. That is a major draw to our high school.
Is that the one that Superintendent Scully tells me that some kids that would qualify for the Classical Academy opt not to go to that one because of the Latin component, but they'd rather go to the STEM Academy, which is more science and math oriented?
Correct. More science and math. More choices in exactly the math, the science, the engineering piece, whereas the Classical Academy is basically a top-notch program that keeps our students here in the high school, but it's Latin, it's English, it's math, it's science, it's really a structured program, and it's really college geared, but the STEM Academy is more math and science orientated.
Excellent. You know, so that
we have those choices, not to mention the foreign languages. Speaking of another one, and I have to the credit has to go to another school committee member, and working with Paul White, who was a teacher at the high school, and getting our 8th graders who are in middle school, 8th graders who want to go, who want to take a language, and they're able to take it at the high school. For the first period of the school day, they are bused to the high school to take a high school class in Spanish, I believe it's French, and Latin. That's going to be, that has been offered, and that number has increased in the past 2 years that it's been since its inception.
Oh, that's very interesting. It's fascinating. It's almost a backing down the version to earlier grades, where kids that are, let's say, in juniors and seniors in high school can also take and qualify for college credit courses at
We have that
community
program
college.
with Lowell.
Right, and then you have this one where 8th graders are able to take courses that are normally associated with high school.
Yes.
So they can accelerate if they so desire. What's new on the horizon that you'd like to still be involved in, or as far as initiatives that are coming up?
The biggest thing, Frank, is the hunking school.
Okay.
We need the new hunking school. That has to go forward. And hopefully, it would be a kindergarten through 8 school. So that
just over 1,000 students.
It would be about 1,000 students, so that we have families together for a long period of time. It's efficient, and it's educationally sound, and it's good for families. That's number one priority. Along with that, of course, is that MCAS. We have to get those scores back. We have to get them up. We have to continue growing the MCAS score so that we have more students passing MCAS. And we have a very few who are not, but those very few still need to pass that test.
I'm going to ask you this question, and it's only a short time left. Is there some sort of socioeconomic tie to a drag on MCAS scores having to do with the student's socioeconomic background? I know that renowned educator Jonathan Kozol said there is no limitation on a student's capacity to be able to learn based upon what his parents' income happens to be. And I understand that, and I believe that, but I also understand that there can be some traumatic instances in a family's life or a student's life that can impact or be distracting to some degree, especially in the tough economic times that we're coming out of. Is there any sort of a demographic that supports that or disputes that at all?
I'll tell you through experience, and Jonathan Kozol goes way back when we were in college, and the socioeconomics, and I'll say it bluntly, just because you are poor doesn't mean you can't learn. What you need is the support system. When a student comes to school, they are taught, and they are given information, and they are given a skill, but they need to go home. And they need to have that skill supported. They need to make sure that they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They need to have a quiet environment. They need to have a home where it's peaceful and where they know that there's no problems going on, so they can leave the home and go to school with a clear mind and learn.
Sierpina, that'll have to be the last word, but understanding you are the only professional educator that happens to be in the Behavioral School Committee, and consider yourself a valuable resource not only to the community but to the rest of the committee as well.
Thank you, Frank.
And we wish you the best in the upcoming election. Thanks very much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
We'll be back in just a moment.